You're watching Outnumbered, and we are glad that you are. You know, we've been seeing a spike in violent crime around the nation. Now we're getting some new stunning numbers in. The Associated Press reporting the Department of Homeland Security has determined that in just the past year, the Obama administration deported a record low number of illegal immigrants with criminal convictions. Fewer over the past 12 months than during any year since Obama took office. This in spite of the fact that the president pledged to focus resources in finding and deporting criminals in this country illegally. Let's come out to the couch. I tell you, there's only one name that pops into my head, and that's Kate Steinle. And I mean, when we have these people here, and A, we have sanctuary cities where they can go, B, we don't keep up with them, that is a recipe for disaster. But what's doubly troubling about this, the number of deportations, Charlie, it's got such a huge backlog.
I know, it's scary. And, you know, you talk to the average American, they say, okay, we've taken AIDS and made it a chronic disease, not a deadly disease. Now, we've done all this great stuff technologically in this country, put a man on the moon. We can't stop illegal immigrants, particularly illegals with criminal records from coming in the country. It boggles the mind of most average Americans. And if you want to know why Donald Trump is so appealing to so many people, he doesn't do what Jeb Bush does. Jeb Bush on this issue, and particularly this issue of immigration and illegal immigration, is so incredibly mealy-mouthed about it compared to Donald, who translates it into very simple terms that appeals to a lot of people. Because when average people see a woman like Kate Steinle just, hear about her sitting there enjoying herself and being murdered by some creep that came in the country illegally and somehow in a sanctuary city, and somehow we can't get rid of that person, that resonates with particularly with the Republican base, and I think it's even broader than that.
You know, Andrea, we put people on the moon. Yeah. We've done a lot of special things. We can't keep illegal criminals out of the country. I mean, we're not talking about the surge of children that happened last summer. Yeah. Remember that? I mean, the unaccompanied kids that were coming from Central and South America. We're not talking about that. We're talking about guys who have a proven record from where they're coming.
Not even keeping them out, but also not deporting them. We already know that they're criminals. But this is the administration that we learned last year let go 30,000 criminals. They released them from prison with no explanation. And you're getting a totally different message, Harris, out of this White House. Because when you ask them, they'll say they've deported a record number of illegals. They tout this as a bullet point of success when actually the opposite has happened. I mean, they're not deporting these criminals. And the Gang of Eight bill in the Senate, which was sponsored by some candidates running for president, as Charlie mentioned, would have actually allowed criminals to stay in this country. 3 strikes, and apparently you're not out. So it is a huge problem.
But I know that
Homeland
Security is describing this as a different problem. This is a changing demographic on the Mexican border that a lot of these immigrants are coming from other countries where they would then have to be flown home, and it would be a much more expensive, costly thing to do. I don't know if you looked into that. Is that a big part of the change?
It would be. I don't know if it's a big part of the changing numbers, but it is a fact that it's more expensive to fly somebody from here to Honduras than it is to the Mexican border. However, the cost of life is immeasurable.
Leah? They are saying it's not just, that they're flying back. It's the actual process, the legal process that people have from Honduras, from Guatemala. When they come here, it's a different process entirely.
I'm telling you, when the average American hears all this stuff about legal process, costs a lot of money, send them back, they go nuts. They're in here illegally. Get rid of them.
Then call your congressman.
They haven't. That's why Donald is leading.
300 or so sanctuary cities. There's plenty of places where they can go. And, We'll move